Hey, it's Marcus from PunchJump, and we're going to do a quick gaming test by running CSGO on the new MacBook Pro M1 Pro 14-inch base model, which includes an 8-core CPU, a 14-core GPU, and 16 gigabytes of unified RAM. So right now we have the resolution set at 3024 by 1964. That's the highest resolution for the Liquid Retina XDR display. We have it on full screen mode, and we have all the graphics details set on high to test the system and really see what this new M1 Pro can do. Now, just for reference, this is what CSGO looks like when it's running on the iMac M1, which includes an 8-core CPU and a 7-core GPU. As you can see, the frame rate isn't that great. It's running around 40 frames per second, but we're going to test this out in max settings on the M1 Pro base model to see the difference in quality. Now, right off the bat, you can see that this game is running much faster on the M1 Pro with a frame rate of about 70 to 80 frames per second. Remember, it's running at a 3024 by 1964 resolution, so that is much higher than your average PC gaming laptop. And while this is running, the laptop remains unplugged, so it doesn't have the benefit of drawing more power being plugged into the wall like you would have to do in a normal gaming laptop. So it bodes pretty well with Apple's claims with the M1 Pro achieving high desktop level graphics performance at a much lower wattage. In most cases, CSGO is running at about 70 to 80 frames per second. Sometimes it pops up into the hundreds and sometimes it dips to the 40s. It just depends on which level you're on. But for the most part, CSGO runs pretty steady on the M1 Pro, and it's also really great to look at because you're playing it off of this new Liquid Retina XDR display, which goes up to 120 Hertz. So even if the frame rate drops, it's hard to notice. Everything looks buttery smooth, and this combination of a great screen and a great powerful chip that doesn't use a lot of wattage is a great gaming combination if only the M1 library had more games to make use of it. It's also important to note that CSGO is not programmed natively for the M1. So if it can run this well through Rosetta 2, you can imagine if developers actually got their hands on the M1 hardware and tried to make the most use of it by programming natively to its benefits and making full use of the base level 14-core GPU all the way up to the 32-core, we should be able to see some really good results from that. And it'd be exciting to see what the next year brings as far as if developers become more aware of the hardware, if they're interested in programming for it. And I think it's in a way up to Apple as well to get those developers on board, stress test the system, and see what it can do and what it can provide for owners of the new MacBook. So that's our quick test of CSGO, and if you like this video, please subscribe. And for more news and reviews, head to news.punchjump.com.